Good afternoon. Welcome back to Pwtrns Daily Bread. What makes a good host? When people hear the word host, they imagine someone polished, perfect, and professionally trained. A radio veteran, a media personality, someone with a broadcasting degree or voice made for television. But hosting isn't about perfection. Hosting is about connection. And today on Passionate World Talk Radio Network, Daily Bread, we're talking about what actually makes a good show host and why ordinary people often make the best ones. Surprised? Before we begin, let me state this clearly. A good host is not above their audience. A good host is not above their guest. And a good host is simply a human being who knows how to show up. So, what are the qualities of a good host? There's 6 of them. They listen more than they talk. They hear what their guest is really saying and respond to the moment, not found on a script. 2, they understand the topic. They don't memorize it. They don't perform it. They understand it. Enough to speak naturally and clearly. 3, they respect their audience. They never talk down to their listeners. They treat listeners as their equals, intelligent, capable, and worthy of real information. 4, they ask real questions. Not pre-approved, not memorized, not robotic. Real questions born from curiosity. 5, they create safety. Guests open up when they feel respected. Listeners stay when they feel understood. 6, they are human, not perfect, not polished, not robotic. Human. A stumble, a laugh, a moment of honesty, a mispronunciation of a word or name. These are the things that make an honest, memorable presentation. So, you want some examples of good hosts? Thought you never ask. The conversational host. You know the one. Warm, natural, makes you feel better, like you're sitting at their kitchen table. The teacher host explains things clearly without making anyone feel small. The empathetic host listens with their whole body. Guests trust them instantly. The story host, users' lived experience to connect the dots, speaks from understanding, not memorization. And something about memorization you should know. If you memorize a script as a talk show host and you stumble or you forget what you're saying, or you're distracted, it's very difficult to go back and pick up in the same place where you were jerked out of your present reality, something one needs to keep in the forefront of their mind. So you're probably asking yourself, well, Lillian, what makes a bad host? The insipid host. No curiosity, no spark, just going through the motions. The performative host. Everything is scripted. Everything is about them. Nothing is real, not even those so-called questions that are asked ahead of time so that the guest has time to write down the answers and memorize them. Don't fall far from the script. The dominating host interrupts, overshadows, corrects the guests who then shut down. And the listeners, they tune out because there's no connection between you and them. The unprepared host doesn't understand the topic and fills the air with noise instead of content. The host who doesn't bother reading the material, the book, familiarizing themselves with the profile of the guest that's appearing on their show. The audience can tell, always. Then you have the different host. This is a category that doesn't get spoken about very often. This host doesn't fit the mold. They don't like traditional radio. They don't follow the old rules. They don't memorize lines, but they connect. They understand. They speak from live experience. They make people feel seen. These hosts are becoming the new standard because audience today want authenticity, not performance. When your guest thanks you later on for interviewing them, and they tell you, we told you things that mom, dad, my spouse, we never told before. They're comfortable with you and they're willing to tell you things that they guard jealousy from other people. So let's talk about hosting in general. The interviewer host. This is the person who draws stories out of the guest, out of the people. The ones who listens between the lines, asks the questions no one thinks to ask, makes guests feel safe enough to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And this is a different skill set. And we'll break it down next time we get together. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. This has been Passion World Talk Radio Network's Daily Bread, reminding you that hosting isn't about perfection. It's all about presence, listening, and being human. Pwtrn. We are the voices of the people. United we roar. Have a good evening.